All right, the next one. Which one do you think it is? Surprise! We're doing the XXX. So we're going to use this as the comparison to compare to the Rockerverb 100. Part of the reason why I picked this one too is because it's very minimal on the controls. So you can see hair, body, bottom, volume, and gain. That's about it. And usually these Rockerverbs or any orange amp is basically like that. So right here is the volume. This is the treble, mid, and bass. And then there's our gain. So it's kind of like the same setup. I thought this would be kind of a cool way to do this. This does have an attenuator. So that's pretty cool. So we will try that out and see how that goes. And we'll also use my precision drive, of course. Use my amp selector to switch between them. And we got MD421 on the V30 and a SM57 on the XXX. Let's check it out. All right. And what'd y'all think of that? Using the XXX to do this comparison, right? Ha! I wanted to leave that as a secret and have people come in and be like, hell yeah. I hope that's the reaction I got out of this whole thing. But having the Rockerverb 100 on my channel is kind of a dream come true, because I don't think I'd ever go out of my way to buy one. And a guy who I did some trades with before, I had gotten that Carbon V30 on the channel, and that amp was freaking awesome. I love that thing. But he had this, and he was like cool with letting me borrow it for the channel and stuff. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's check this stuff out. There isn't much to it because there's a clean and a crunch or distorted lead or whatever you want to call it. So let's see what we got. I guess let's go ahead and go to the cleans, because I don't know, I think that is important for this kind of thing. All right, so let's go, let's see, where am I at? Okay, clean, clean. And although the PV-XXX has a crunch, we're just going to use the Ultra because the crunch is not working right now, actually. I got to figure that out. There's something with the relay that's going on there. All right, so here's the clean for these two amps. We're going to start off on the Rockerverb, and then we're going to go to the XXX, see what those sound like. I have everything at noon. Well, let's see, let's go ahead and fix that. All right, cool. That's at noon. So here's the clean side right over here. Here's the treble, and here's the bass. So let's see what this sounds like. Here's the Rockerverb. Very dark sounding, to tell you the truth. So let's go ahead and go over to the XXX, see what that sounds like with everything at nude. Oh, I should note that I do have the PV-XXX's, there's a resonance switch in the back, which goes from tight to medium to loose. And I have it at loose because I wanted to get as much bass as I could out of it, and then dial it in through the amp. So anyways, here it is again. You tell me which one you like. Write down in the comments. All right, so let's go ahead and start dialing these in. I actually really like where the XXX is sitting, and I kind of want a little more treble out of the Rockerverb, right? So let's try that. Bring up the treble. I love the fact that the Rockerverb, each time you turn it, it kind of clicks into place. That's actually pretty nice. There we go. Gets a little fendery. Might need to turn it up a little bit. Go back down one more. All right, let's go back over to the XXX. I don't even feel like I need to mess with the EQ on this one. It's maybe some more bass, bring back the mids a tad bit. And let's go back to the orange. I bet this would work really well with like a Fender or something like that. That has a little more top end to it. You know, me using the EMGs in this guitar might throw that off. But the XXX is designed, I guess, for this kind of thing. You got the treble in the mid and bass, and that does great. All right, that's enough of the cleans. I guess before I go on to the lead stuff, let's go ahead and check out the reverb on the orange. Obviously, the XXX does not have a reverb, so let's just kind of see what that sounds like. This is about just past halfway. I need to bring the bass down. Bring it up to 3 o'clock. Actually, that really helped out. Bringing the bass back brought that like really spanky kind of treble sound. Probably bring it a little more low into it. That's a little too much. Back. Well, really cavernous sounding kind of reverb there. Hello, hello, hello. I'm not here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, let's bring the reverb off and then go over to the lead channel, see what that sounds like. All right, I think I got the levels fine here. The EQ, I think, is all at noon. I don't have a dial to see, or the dials don't have knobs, I should say, so I can see where it's at. But I did my best with trying to get it at noon. But here's that sound. Ooh, yeah. That's why they call it the Rockerverb. You know, with everything at noon, it kills. I don't have the attenuator on right now. I just have the volume set to where it's good for the mics and stuff. But that's what we get, man. That's... That, my friends, is a really killer rock sound. Logan, you got the Tekken Emperor, huh? I play Tekken, and my girlfriend's son, he plays Tekken a lot with me, and he kicks my butt all the time, and it kind of like, it's like, dang it! It's my game, always been my game, and I'm getting slaughtered by this 15 / going on 16-year-old boy. Anyways, yeah, so that's freaking awesome. That's a really killer rocker tone right there. Like, what more could you want from that? Just turn that sucker up. All right, let's go to the Triple X and see where that sits with everything at noon. Well, that's the clean channel. Let's go to the Ultra channel. Okay, this one definitely needs some help. Let's see if we can get a cool rock tone out of the Triple X, just like the Rockerverb, because that where it sits, it's freaking killer. I love that, actually. So we're gonna bring up the hair. That's helping. Let's bring back the bottom. Bring in some body. There's too much gain for the rocker sound, which I would expect from a Triple X, right? There's gonna be way more gain. But here we go. Let's go back to the Rockerverb. That sounds killer, dude. For an amp that's just like trying to, like the old school vintage Marshall mid-forward sounding, that is freaking awesome, man. I think I do lean towards more of that kind of sound because it's just clear. You can hear it very nicely. Triple X. Let's go ahead and bring the body up. No. Body back. Okay. Let's bring up the hair. Okay. Bring it back a little bit. Still a little too much gain. Okay, there we go. That's a pretty killer sound right there. I don't know if it's orange sound, but it's pretty damn good. Rockerverb? Actually, it is pretty close. I feel like I want a little more high end on this one now. Now I want a little more gain. That is killer, dude. You know, it's great when a manufacturer gets the amp set to where you have everything at noon and it just sounds freaking awesome. And that's not the case for all amps. That's not the intention stuff. I get that. But it's just a nice way to start and then dial from there. Triple X. Wait, did I change it? Triple X. Horn. So usually in my videos, I like to take a certain portion that I really dig and put it at the very front of my video to just get people to keep watching, because we want to see how I got there, how I got those tones and all that kind of stuff. So let me see, for this one, I want to do, because you've already watched it now, that you're this far with this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find out if you can figure out which one's the orange and which one's the triple X. So I'm just going to play a riff, and I'm going to switch between them, and I'm going to ask you which one you think is a triple X and which one's the orange. Check this out. All right, what kind of riff should I play? Something simple. So right now we're on the orange. I'm not going to say it in my short, so check it out. All right, the next one. Which one do you think it is? All right, cut the short. So, yeah, I wonder, did you guys get it at the very beginning of this video? It's kind of tough sometimes, and it kind of throws you off if you're just using your eyes to do this kind of thing. So, I don't know, let's keep on going with this, and let's get some real, like, heavy metal, not heavy metal, but like death metal tones, right? Let's try and do that. So it's gonna be pretty easy with the triple X, I'm sure. So let's go ahead and do that. It's just way too much gain, personally. That's a pretty good tone. Let's just roll with that for now and just see what we can do with the orange. More bass, less mid. Now I see why it's the Rockerverb, because it's definitely just geared to that rock sound, and they did a killer job doing that. So it's kind of tough to get a death metal tone out of it. Let me tell you, I had no idea that it was going to be this heavy. You know, well, both, because that amp is extremely heavy. As well as I didn't know it'd have this much gain. And I'm really surprised by that. All right, let's keep on going with it. That is a really killer sound right there. Let's just see how much gain it had. Whoa. That's not the amp, that is definitely the ground loop that is going on here, having both amps connected to my amp selector. But having the gain all the way up like that is definitely that just doom metal sound for sure. I hear that if you turn all the EQ up and all that stuff and play with the gain, I think you can, that is the doom tone on an orange. So let's try it. Oh man, I better not call it doom. I don't want somebody to be like, that's sludge, man. I don't know. I don't play doom, so. But I don't know, that didn't really sound too doomy to me. Bring the gain back again. That rock tone is just absolutely killer. Yeah, I'm very surprised by this amp. As far as the price tag though, can the XXX do what the Rockerverb does at such a lower price point? Not as good, I don't think. But I like the cleans more on the XXX. And the fact that it has another channel that you can dial in, that's pretty much the same, but you can dial it differently if you want to. So you could have a clean crunch and a high gain lead tone. Jesus. All right, let's actually go back to the XXX. Listen to that again. I mean, we knew that this was going to be the death metal machine, right? You knew that. I'm sure you did. All right, last but not least, let's go ahead and boost them and see where they can get now. All right, obviously, well, the gain's pretty low. Well, I guess let me show you how much gain this thing does have. Let's compare it to the orange. Whoa! Here's the orange. Oops. XXX. Okay, I think that's a good gain spot for both of these to turn on the overdrive. Basically, I just have the level up to about 3 o'clock, and everything else, or the bright is probably about 1 o'clock or so, and the attack is all the way down, so it gives in all of the low end. So let's try it. Here's the Rockerverb with the precision drive. I still had the EQ all the way up with everything, so let's try it again. That sounds a lot more like a XXX. Mind you, I do have the bass all the way up. Now let's go over to the XXX, and here it is with the drive on. Okay, obviously we need some more bottom. Bring back the mids. Ah, yeah, dude. Pretty cool riff. And back over to the orange. Let's bring in a little more gain. Might be a little bit too much. Bring in a little more mids. All right, the last thing I want to do is I want to use the attenuator to see if it changes the tone, get it to the same level that I am, but pushing the amp, but at the same time attenuating it. So let's see what we can do with that. Let's bring the attenuator to halfway, okay? That seems about right. The one thing I can say is that there is much more bass in the XXX. I feel like the Rockerverb, it has plenty of bass. I don't think using a drive in front of it is going to give you the same satisfaction as a huge sounding amp like the XXX is. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. The attenuator does pretty good. I feel like it made it a little more clearer. Let's bring it up even more. Attenuate more. Yeah, you can really start to hear the tubes saturating. Let's do that without the overdrive. Okay. Attenuator at halfway, volume at halfway. And back down with the attenuator off and volume at a decent level. Ah. Yeah, it sounds like it gets tighter. The louder you have the amp and then the more you attenuate it, which kind of makes sense. Attenuation is cutting, you know, a little bit of frequencies and stuff, so that makes sense to me. Anyways, that is it. That's all I wanted to go through. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like and subscribe to my channel because I got so many cool things coming up, and maybe I'll get to borrow another cool amp next time. Till next time, DMD out.